you've got something to back it up.
Do you think athletes that are doing things that may be considered inappropriate or doing illegal things such as the steroids that we've been talking about, do you think that they deserve to be brought to light?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That issue skewed the game, and I think in some ways made the game more about chemistry, knowledge of chemistry, than about the ability to work hard or have the ability to hit a baseball or pitch a baseball.
Do you think that all investigative reporting has to be negative?
No. No, why?
Can you think of an example of a positive?
Well, I don't know. I always have this thing. If you say what's positive, what's negative, I always say what's news. So no, I don't think so. If you find something that somebody's doing that maybe is portrayed in a negative light often, and you do a lot of investigation and it points them in a positive light, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But that whole positive negative thing, I always say positive negative. It's just what's news is news.
The latest sports scandal seems to be the Tiger Woods scandal that's going on right now. What are your thoughts about that incident?
My thoughts on it are, as a columnist, I wrote that, he's human. I'm not surprised that Tiger Woods had affairs. It's unfortunately, it seems to be something that's pretty prevalent in our society. I think I would have been more surprised to find that he didn't. But the one thing that I have to say about this is I found it disappointing because I thought that he was different. And it turned out that he's, in certain ways, no different. And I do think it points out the tabloid media and what it does well, if you really look at it, and what it doesn't do well, and how it can be fair and find out things, and how it can be unfair. So that's my thought on it. I don't think it's a private matter between him and his wife or something like that, totally, because he had held himself up to certain standards. And the one thing is I've pretty much said that, but if there's something that comes out where he was covering up a domestic violence situation with his wife and he's been covering that up and has flat out lied, then I think he's, in real problems. But it's more of a gossip story than an actual story because it really doesn't involve a big, legal issue.
Right.
The illegal issue got a careless driving ticket. The legal issue, is a lot different than the moral issue which people are debating.
Do you think that sports stars deserve the same right to privacy that normal citizens do, or because of the amount of money they make and the position that they've chosen to make their money in, that they possibly give up some of that privacy?
Well, first of all, nobody cares about a normal citizen. So they really, technically, a normal citizen doesn't get any more privacy than what the star athlete did. It's just the interest in that athlete, whatever celebrity it is, that draws that attention. And I think there are lines that are pretty defined that people shouldn't cross. And but I do believe that if you're a public figure, you're going to be held under a lot of scrutiny. And the laws are pretty clear on that, about a public figure, about malice.
Right.
And understanding that. So you put yourself out into that particular eye, you're going to get more scrutiny, and you need to not, if you're a public figure, necessarily have thin skin that goes along with the territory. Probably some of the dues you pay along with hitting all those golf balls for 10 hours a day or whatever Tiger Woods hits is part of it. Or any other athlete, the hard work they put in, part of it is, a patience test of, not getting what they call rabbit ears and worrying too much about it. But there are clearly defined areas you don't want to cross. I don't think anybody should have a tax on them. I don't think anybody's got a right to go to their home and live in privacy. I don't think people should be shooting pictures into their windows and things like that, or be on their property or do anything. But the rest of it comes with the territory, I think. So.
From the journalistic standpoint, as a reporter, do you want to be the guy that breaks a story like this, or a story like the steroids piece?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's that gives you that's what you do. try to come up with information that others don't have. And if it's something that's important, that's big news, then that's what you're a reporter for. There's a number of different levels of reporting. There's reporting on what's happening. There's reporting on things, but the bottom line about our business is this. Things that you don't necessarily want to know or are readily available to you, they're readily available to you as a reporter. Finding out things that people don't want you to know, are trying to guard and everything, that's far more difficult to find out. And when you find that out and it's in public interest, they're interested in it, then you've got yourself a pretty good story, and that's what, being a reporter is about to a degree.
What would you say the most important thing to keep in the front of your mind when you are trying to break a story, or you do break a story like this? What's the number one thing as a journalist that you should try and remember?
Well, are you correct? Do you have the truth? And are you being fair? Did you talk to everybody that you could talk to on both sides of the issue? And is it accurate? Accuracy is the key. I mean, if you're accurate, you're not going to have a lot of problems. If you're inaccurate and you've been reckless and you haven't gone and gotten all different sides of the story, then you're going to have problems. So it's just as simple as that. Truth is not, something that necessarily is going to keep you, from getting people angry at you, maybe even filing a lawsuit against you or doing whatever it is. But accuracy and truth and following all the P's and Q's of what we're learning journalistically will ultimately be your